Hello world, on today's delicious steak, my personal take on Charlie McDonald's personal YouTube rules. The video you guys voted on as a launching point for conversation this week comes from Charlie McDonald, who recently made a list of his 7 personal YouTube rules, how he thinks YouTube should and shouldn't be used. And I don't want this video to be 30 minutes long, so I'm not going to respond to every single one. I'm just going to respond to the ones that I have the most to say about. Capiche?
I don't like to give the people who watch me here on the internet any kind of group name or title. I don't want to refer to you as a group of people, because A, you are not a group of people, you are just one person, and B, I don't want to assume that you are a fan of what I do.
Hey there, Pogo Tribe. You are a group of people, and you are fans of what I do. Why else would you keep coming back? No, I struggled with the whole pet name thing also. I made a video a little while ago called Pogo Tribe where I expressed my struggle to you guys, asked you guys what you thought about it, because it is a little weird. It does seem a little self-centered to call your audience something. It seems like you're trying to craft some sort of cult of personality, like you view your audience as your minions to go forth and do your bidding. But the overwhelming response to my Pogo Tribe video was that I was completely overthinking things, as I often do. As a YouTuber with a dedicated following, you are, whether you like it or not, the de facto leader of a community. And you either own that or you ignore that. And I feel like Charlie's kind of ignoring that here. I'm not saying that I think Charlie should start referring to his audience as the Charlie horses. I want to take this moment to speak through my camera directly to Charlie McDonald. Charlie, right now there are millions of people who are watching your videos, who are drawn to you, who admire you for whatever reason. They want you to influence them. They want you to lead them in some capacity. And so it would be really stupid to squander this incredible opportunity to change the world simply for the sake of modesty. You know, there's a time for modesty, and for you that time is not right now. You're on top of the fucking world. Own it!
I tried to make sure that the thumbnail and the title of a video are going to be a good representation of what that video is actually going to be.
I'm with Charlie on this one. Nothing kills my boner quite like clicking on a video whose thumbnail has boobs in it, and it turning out to be this asshole.
If I'm offered any kind of business opportunity, then I'm only going to take it if it's actually going to make my videos better. I feel very fortunate that I'm in a position where I have people watching me here on the internet, and with that I wouldn't ever want to try and take advantage of your attention by making a bunch of money trying to sell you something that you probably don't want.
This episode of Delicious Steak is brought to you by Blackwater Security Solutions. Aren't you guys glad I'm not doing that anymore? I am so glad I'm not doing that shit anymore. One of the most valuable lessons I've learned through YouTubing over the years, and I learned it the hard way, is that it's not worth sacrificing any amount of credibility with your audience for any amount of money. And I'm not saying that from some holier-than-thou perspective. I'm saying that from a strictly capitalistic perspective. Long-term credibility with your audience is worth a whole hell of a lot more in terms of money than whatever GoDaddy wants to pay you in the short term to pimp out their site. I mean, it is possible to incorporate ads in a more involved way than simply, what pops up at the 10-second mark and what's to the side and a pre-roll, in a way that does not destroy your credibility, depending on what you're doing on YouTube. If you have a show, if you're speaking in a fictional voice, I don't feel like those sort of ads take much away, because it was a fiction in the first place. But for my style of vlogging and for Charlie's style of vlogging, I'm not so sure that that's true. We're trying to have one-to-one conversations with our audience, and you can't really have that if in the next breath you're also trying to sell your audience something. So those are my basic thoughts in response to Charlie McDonald's YouTube rules, but there's a deeper level of complexity at play here that I think is demonstrated really well by the Will of DC's response to Charlie's YouTube rules.
Charlie has never had to worry about marketing or promotion. He's a part of that elite YouTube class that got onto YouTube early, had a massive hit video, and rode the success of that video to the top and stayed there. If the videos you made and loved were hated and not seen, you'd be singing a very different tune very quickly. A tune of desperation as you go homeless and have to take a job at McDonald's. Joining a YouTube network or being sponsored by a safe and harmless company like Pepsi or another commercial brand does not hurt videos at all, especially when I have complete creative control, which is what most YouTube networks give you.
For the first time in the history of media, a scene has emerged around non-musical short-form video content. And what we're witnessing here is one of the first bits of scene drama. There are 2 basic schools of thought, and a whole spectrum in between those 2 basic schools of thought, but 2 poles, and they're beginning to clash. There are those who believe that YouTube is at its best when it is functioning as a business. And there are those who believe that YouTubers' intense focus on business over the last couple of years, the injection of lots of money into YouTube over the last couple of years, has caused competition to take precedence over community. And I kind of fall right in the middle of the whole thing. So I have a lot to say about it, but I'm not going to say it all right now because, first of all, I've been rambling long enough to you guys today, and second, I need a week to kind of sort my thoughts out on this. So if you know of any piece of media anywhere on the internet that might contribute to that conversation, there is a link to the moderator module in the description of this video. Submit that link and vote on whatever links you think might also help contribute to the conversation. And see you next week. Knight from C6 to B4, Queen's in trouble. White, if you want to vote for your response, there's a link to a moderator module thing in the description.